The Attorney General of Venezuela, William Saab, offered details on the protest called by the leader of the far-right, Maria Corina Machado, and former candidate of the United Platform, Edmundo Gonzalez. Brazil's Center for Aeronautical Accident Research and Prevention has recovered the two black boxes of the aircraft that crashed in the state of Sao Paulo. The Palestinian resistance movement Hamas confirmed that it will not send negotiators to the talks that will begin in 4 days under the auspices of Qatar, Egypt, and the United States. Hello, welcome from the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. On Sunday, the Attorney General of Venezuela, William Saab, offered a series of details about the protest called by the leader of the far-right, Maria Corina Machado, and former candidate of the United Platform, Edmundo Gonzalez. During an interview on the program called Situational Analysis, the head of the Public Prosecutor's Office announced that the investigations carried out by the Prosecutor's Office have sufficient elements to attribute serious crimes committed on post-election day to the so-called Comanditos, structures created and promoted by Machado and Gonzalez, among other representatives of the opposition extreme, such as the murder of at least 20 people.
A grupos estructurados de delincuencia organizada, GEOs, donde vimos al tren del llano.
To structure groups of organized crime, where we saw the Tren del Llano band defending Edmundo Gonzalez and saying that if the police or security forces were going to repress the violent, they were going to act. This is convicted and confessed. They destroyed a school there in Guarico, the Ulexi gang. They bought out several armed delinquents. I already have the figure. Almost all of them have criminal records. And it is attributable the death of the 20 or so people. I saw it here. I have said it in other press conferences, but I certify it absolutely to the delinquent terrorist groups that have facade the name of Comanditos.
In Venezuela, also the Minister of the People's Power for Transportation, Ramon Velázquez Araguayan, informed on Sunday that Conviasa's webpage and the collection system of the metro system were attacked by hack activist Anonymous. Through his official account on the social media Instagram, the minister denounced once again the attacks by the hack activist collective Anonymous against the web portal of their flagship airline Conviasa, which they managed to neutralize with their technical teams. He added that similarly, the attack against the ticket collection system in the metros of Caracas, Valencia, Los Teques, Maracaibo, State Railways Institution, and Metrobus generated a collapse in the service. They acted to safeguard all the information of all users. And staying on Venezuela, the electoral chamber of the highest judicial body announced in its ruling on the first balance of the contentious electoral appeal that seeks to settle the controversy of the July 28th elections that the former far-right candidate Edmundo González Urrutia is in contempt of court. The report with Madeline Garcia.
Del Tribunal Supremo de Justicia, la magistrada Carolina Beatriz Rodríguez Rodríguez.
La Sala Electoral del Tribunal Supremo de Justicia.
The electoral chamber of the Supreme Court of Justice gave the balance of the first phase of the expertise of the contentious appeal that concluded with the appearance of President Maduro before the electoral chamber, a process that will lead to know all the details of what happened in the July 28th presidential election. 48 people were summoned, 38 from political parties, 9 former candidates, and the Venezuelan president. The big absentee was Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, the ultra-right-winger who caused all the doubts about the electoral process.
It is hereby stated for the record that the former candidate Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia did not attend and, therefore, did not comply with the summon order, disregarding with his inaction the mandate of this, the highest instance of the electoral contentious jurisdiction of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Pero allí no queda todo. Partidos políticos.
But that's not all. Political parties that supported Edmundo González Urrutia said that they had access neither to the witnesses nor to the minutes, because behind all that electoral consultancy was the organization called CIMATI, created by Maria Corina Machado.
Todos miembros de la Alianza Plataforma Unitaria Democrática y postulantes del
All members of the Democratic United Platform Alliance and postulants of former candidate Edmundo González Urrutia did not submit any electoral material, arguing that they do not have any type of documentation related to this electoral process. In this sense, they stated that they do not have the minutes of the scrutiny of the witnesses, nor the list of witnesses, alluding, furthermore, that they did not participate in the process of transferring and safeguarding any material. They also pointed out that the organization SUMATE is part of the technical advisory team of the Democratic Unitary Platform Alliance, and, in turn, they did not know who uploaded the information of the alleged tally sheets in the web page www.resultadospresidencialesvenezuela2024.com.
La sala electoral iniciará la segunda fase.
The electoral chamber will initiate the second phase of the expert analysis of all the minutes and electoral material consigned. At the end of the process, they will issue a final sentence, which...
In our news, Defense Minister of Colombia, Iván Velázquez, warned on Sunday that the retention of some 60 military personnel in southeastern Colombia for over 48 hours risks the continuity of the ceasefire agreed with the dissidents. The minister pointed out Jorge Suárez Briceño Bloch as the one responsible of the act, in which, according to the authorities, farmers from the area also participated. This action is part of the Central General Staff, one of the largest dissidents of the extinct Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. Soldiers were intercepted and held on Friday afternoon when they were carrying out control actions in Guaviare by alleged members of farmer guards who are pressured by the dissidents to demand the withdrawal of the soldiers. The Ministry of Health of El Salvador reported this Sunday the increase in number of minors killed by dengue fever, which now stands at 7. The health authorities reiterated a call to parents and caregivers of children to be attentive to any sign or symptom of alarm, to consult immediately and avoid self-medication. Since January and to date, the Central American nation has reported about 470 cases, so that last July 3rd, the General Directorate of Civil Protection issued a red alert in order to strengthen prevention actions. According to the Pan American Health Organization, the disease does not have a specialized medicine to fight it and can take a serious course, which is evidenced by difficulty in breathing, severe bleeding, and organ complications, hence the importance of going to the doctor quickly in case of symptoms. Joint efforts between the Haitian transitional government and national and foreign police forces failed to contain the escalation of violence. On Sunday, heavy blasts disturbed the order at the Port-au-Prince National Palace. Shots were reported in a wide area around the executive headquarters from Champ de Mars to Nassau, in the center of the capital city. A serious incident was also reported during a visit to Haiti by CARICOM, a mission of the Community of Caribbean States. Local media showed the heavy mobilizations of troops, as well as the damage caused by the impact of bullets on the infrastructure of the palace. Security forces have not determined whether violent gangs were attempting to take over executive headquarters. On Sunday, the rector of the State University of Haiti, Fritz Dessomme, was appointed as representative of that country to the Caribbean Community Reparation Commission. In this sense, through an official statement, the Haitian Foreign Ministry emphasized that this assignment comes after the participation of Haiti in the 47th meeting of the Conference of Heads of States and Government of Grenada, being this the first time that the Caribbean country will be part of the Commission. In this context, the rector expressed his gratitude with the election, which he described as historic for the Haitian nation. Dessomme also took the opportunity to congratulate the members of the rectorate for their commitment, patriotism, and sense of responsibility. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Center for Research and Prevention of Aeronautical Accidents in Brazil reported on Sunday that it managed to extract and recover the contents of 2 black boxes removed from the plane that crashed in the state of Sao Paulo. Brigadier Marcelo Moreno, head of the CENIPA, stated that the 2 engines of the aircraft will be analyzed in Sao Paulo to verify if they were powered at the time of the accident, and specified that the preliminary report of the investigation will be submitted in 30 days. Experts from France and Canada will join Brazil in the investigation, which should point the causes of the accident, given that the plane model was manufactured in France and the engines in Canada. In Peru, several polls have indicated that the current president, Dina Boluarte, maintains a high level of unpopularity, with at least 88% disapproval of her government. According to polls by the Non-Governmental Institute of Peruvian Studies, the president maintains a similar level to that registered in July, when she reached 90% disapproval and only 6% approval. This result was preceded by anti-government public expressions such as the booing and shouting of rejection to the Minister of Culture, Leslie Urteaga, during her inaugural speech at the Lima Film Festival. In the United States, tropical storm Dengue left at least 7 dead, flooded areas, and thousands of people without electrical fluid after its passage. According to media reports, among the dead are a 12-year-old boy and a woman who died in a car accident in Dixie County on August 5th. Meanwhile, in New Albany, Mississippi, a trucker lost control and rushed into a canal where a tree fell on top of a mobile home and killed a 13-year-old boy. On the other hand, in Pennsylvania and southern New York, a dozen people were trapped in their homes by the aftermath of the weather. Greek authorities ordered the immediate deployment of firefighting teams to the outskirts of the capital city to contain the flames of a large wildfire. 24 water-dropping aircraft are currently assisting firefighting teams in the struggle to stop the advance of the flames. The fire department reported that it ordered the evacuation of more than a dozen areas of the Greek capital while facilitating the relocation and care of civilians affected by smoke inhalation. The fire started on Sunday afternoon, about 35 kilometers from the Greek capital, and was fanned by the strong winds and extremely hot conditions that hit the country.
The situation is very difficult. We still have strong fires. The last night was very difficult. From midnight onwards, some houses started to burn. We are trying to protect our local restaurant. Firefighters are doing very well.
In Italy, Lake Fanaco in the Palermo area, which historically supplied the southern part of the island of Sicily, has almost dried up. This week, a drone recorded how the drought has hit in a critical state, turning it into an arid, dry, and cracked terrain. In January, the volume of the Fanaco was already below the alert level, and a few weeks ago, it was already almost completely dry. It normally stores 18 million cubic meters annually and collected rainfall from September to April. Record temperatures this summer and low rainfall since autumn have plunged Sicily into a water crisis. In May, the Italian region entered a state of emergency due to droughts, and the authorities have implemented strict water rationing. Tropical storm Maria keeps the northeastern region of Japan on alert after causing heavy rains and strong winds that forced measures such as the cancellation of flights on Sunday morning. The Japan Meteorological Agency considers Maria a severe tropical storm and forecasts heavy rains in the Pacific Rim. According to a report from the agency, Maria has wind gusts of up to 126 kilometers per hour. It could cause waves of 6 and 7 meters on the coast of Hokkaido and Iwate, and is advancing northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. Here you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Found your break? Don't go away. Welcome back. On Sunday night, the Palestinian resistance movement Hamas confirmed that it will not send negotiators to the talks that will begin in 4 days under the auspices of Qatar, Egypt, and the United States. They asked the mediators to present a plan to implement what has already been agreed on July the 2nd, based on a vision of Washington and the United Nations Security Council resolution. The movement insists that the mediators must ensure that all the agreements previously signed by the parties are fulfilled, and reiterates that there is no point in promoting new rounds of negotiations if Israel systematically disrespects what has been agreed in those negotiations. In this regard, the Palestinian resistance movement Hamas rejected Israel's false narrative to justify its attack on Al-Tabayin school, where more than 100 people were killed and more than 150 injured. The Palestinian Islamic resistance movement claimed that no armed individuals were among those killed in the Israeli bombing, stressing that they were all civilians who were targeted while performing the fast prayer. Similarly, Hamas denounced that the Israeli regime deliberately spreads false narratives after every massacre it commits in order to justify its crimes. For its part, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad resistance movement maintained that choosing the time of prayer to carry out the massacre confirms that Tel Aviv intends to cause as many deaths as possible among the civilian population. The government media office in Gaza condemned the statements by the Israeli occupation army to justify the Al-Tabayin school massacre, which left more than 100 dead civilians. The governmental media office in Gaza City called on the various media outlets that use the Israeli occupation narrative to modify their data and conduct professional investigations. They further called on the international media that adopted this false narrative to apologize. Similarly, the Palestinian media office called on the United Nations to form international fact-finding committees to visit the Gaza Strip. On this recent Israeli attack in Gaza, the government office of the coastal enclave confirmed that the Israeli occupation story about the presence of armed men in the Al-Tabayin school is false. The United States maintains support for Israel's genocidal operation against Gaza and announced the sending of the USS Georgia submarine with guided missiles. In this way, Washington further contributes to raising tensions in the region. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the ship's dispatch on Sunday after a telephone conversation with his Israeli counterpart Yoav Gallant. In addition to sending the nuclear-powered USS Georgia submarine, he asked to accelerate the transit of the Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier equipped with F-35 Seafires to reinforce the operations of their ships already in the area. The Allies respond to Iranian pledge to avenge assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in the Persian capital of Tehran. In other news, the Shannon Prefecture Maritime in Calais issued a statement on Sunday confirming the death of 2 migrants, as well as the rescue by helicopter of 50 people who tried to cross the road linking the Atlantic Ocean with the North Sea. Although the causes of death have not been clarified, the organizations Utopia 56 and Alarm Phone, responsible for monitoring the Channel and the Mediterranean, said that the increase in human losses is due to the repression of small boats by the UK. As a result of the attempts by the British and other nations to block supply chains in countries of origin, there is a perceived decrease in the number of boats available. This has led to more people boarding boats with few conditions. We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For telesur English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.